Good evening and welcome to another edition of The Boys in Blue, sponsored by Bowen Pies. And today we are without Big Steve. Everyone, put a get well soon in the chat for Big Steve. He will be watching, but put get well soon for Big Steve. However, we are joined by Martin, who likes the sound of his own voice.
I knew you were going to throw that back. By the way, in the chat, who's missing out next week? Nubbins was last week. I was a week before. Steve this week. Who's next week? Someone's dropping next week.
It's going to be Tone next week. It's going to be Tone next week.
That's the show. Yeah. Aren't you? You're going away, are you?
I'm going away, I think, the week after that, to be fair. So then I'll miss out. But right. Also joined by Tone. What are you saying, Tone? Good evening. Good day.
Good evening, mate. Yeah. Really good day. Busy one. Work. I've got a big presentation thing tomorrow and Thursday. So about 300-400.
Nothing to do with 115, is it?
Fun. No, I have been asked about the 115.
Do you know anything about 115?
I know. I know.
Because aren't you good friends with Henry Winter?
Yeah, that's a load of bollocks. Before anyone starts saying that, I'm not.
If anyone wants he's in the know. He's friends with Henry Winter, so give him a shout.
Aren't you City admin?
Well, thank you. I'm good.
City admin, you are.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I work for City. Yeah. I work for City as well. There you go. But I'm good, thank you, Daps. Hope you're well.
Good. And finally, the main man, Nobbins. How are you? We've missed you for 2 weeks. How's Danny Nobbins?
She's good, yeah. She appreciated all the messages. She doesn't really understand, but yeah, it's all very sweet. Thank you guys for that. I took last week off, feeling much better this weekend, as is she. So yeah, content shall resume. Apologies for my absence.
Absolutely. Right, so it's the Boys in Blue. As you know, usually there's 5 of us. This week there's 4. We are sponsored by Bowen Pies, the home of the chicken balti. Tone, have you got your pies yet? Because I noticed you went on and ordered some.
I did. I'm going to order some more as well. I had chunky steak. Me and Marie had one each. Superb, mate.
Yeah.
Superb. Went down, rave reviews in this household. There'll be more on the way. Next up, chicken balti. I've had that before, but we're going to go with that in a week or 2.
I want to try the Moroccan. I need to.
Do you have your liquor on it? You have liquor down your end, don't you?
I don't. This is right.
You don't do gravy.
Hold on. Down our end.
Gravy,
right.
Yeah.
Tone, where do you live?
Right.
All right. So he lives near Southampton, right? I live in Bedford, right?
Right.
They have liquor in the East End of London, yeah? Down your way, bruv.
Down my way, yeah.
No, we don't have liquor. We don't have liquor here. Yeah, we eat jelly deals as well. That's it. All of that, Martin. Anyway, people, listen. The QR code is there.
Gravy.
If you scan it, if it's on your TV now, you can scan it. And then it'll bring up the website. If not, you just head over to www.bowenpies.co.uk/Big Steve MCFC. And that will take you automatically to an area of the website where you can pick your pies and you'll get 5% at checkout. They are the pies, the same very pies that they have in the Manchester City Stadium. So you're getting a taste of the Etihad in your very own home. So, talking the taste of the Etihad, I was up at the weekend for the game. I went out Friday with Nobbins. It was great to catch up with Nobbins, catch up with LB, catch up with a couple of other lads. Really, Sai, of course. Shout out Sai. That was on the Friday. The Saturday was the day of the game. Now, I didn't make it to the game.
Why?
I didn't make it.
You left quite early.
I did leave quite early. So to be honest with you, just a quick public health thing here, really and truly. I was feeling a bit stressed the last week or 2, and I probably shouldn't have gone out Friday, but I went out Friday and had a few drinks and then went back to my apartment, had a few more drinks, woke up Saturday, had a complete meltdown, to be honest with you. I think I ran myself into the ground. probably overthinking a lot of shit. And I just want to shout out Si, because Si Saturday morning, he didn't do what a normal lad would do and say, fuck it, Daps, keep drinking. Let's get on it. Let's go to the game.
He looked after you.
He looked after me and said, mate, you need to look after your body. You need to look after your body. And it's just anyone out there, firstly, if you're feeling a bit stressed or whatever, make sure you are speaking to people. And secondly, know when your body's telling you to stop, and don't just think about drinking through it, because it's taken me a few days to recover, to be honest. And listen, it was predominantly self-inflicted, but I think, So I didn't make it to the game. I woke up kind of late in the evening to see it was a 2-2 draw. So, boys, firstly, before we get into maybe there's a few more things to talk on, Nobbins, I'm going to come to you first. Happy with the lineup? We will start with the lineup.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I think that for a game against a team like Brighton, we all basically knew how Brighton were going to approach the match. It was going to be, I assumed it was going to be sort of similar to, when Newcastle came to the Etihad, when Chelsea came as well, and indeed when Brighton ever come to the Etihad. They're going to go very aggressive. They're going to press. They are going to offer a lot of space to run in behind. So that's why I thought it was pretty key that that Marmoush started as an absolute, and that Savio started as an absolute. So certain terms of the offensive options, I was very happy with that. It meant that there would be some potential opportunities for some counterattacks, and indeed that's how we scored both of our goals with Nico counter pressing, winning the ball back on the counter, playing in Marmoush, and he was instrumental in both goals. So that was really nice. We can ask questions about the defense. I'm sure we will in this show. But in terms of like the actual personnel, I was quite content with the lineup. We can have debates about, should Nunes have started at right back instead of Lewis or whatever. But in general, especially because Ederson was out injured, wasn't he? Ortega had to start. Yeah, I was happy with the team, particularly the attack. I thought that was probably the correct call based on the available options.
Yeah, I think as well it was probably what we all wanted to see. I guess when we faced Forest, there was elements that maybe we weren't so keen on, but that's because of the team we were facing at the time. And whereas with Brighton and how we expected Brighton to play, I think if we wouldn't have seen probably Marmoush, I think we would have been asking questions straight away, as an example. Tone, over to you. Agreed? Same on the lineup? Happy with everything with the lineup?
Yeah. When I saw the lineup, I was fairly happy. Probably would have rather have had Nunes maybe at right back, but I wasn't that fussed. Rico was fine that I saw.
Yeah.
Didn't see any issues there. I thought lineup was good. I was really, really happy that Kasanov, Nico and Marmoush were starting. I wanted all three to start, and I thought Marmoush played really well. Great goal. So in terms of the lineup, really, really pleased with what I saw. Gundo was the only one of the old guard that started. So because Bernardo was the only one who started at Forest.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy with that. I was just a little worried just before it come out or before I got it that it was going to be Gundo, Kev, and Bernie and everyone in there, but it wasn't. So I was happy. Legs, quite a young, average young team there.
Yeah, agreed. Martin, anything to add or?
No, I was totally happy with that. Totally happy with that 11.
Okay, so we get into the game, and it's funny because, like I said, I didn't get to the game, but I did get a message. Let me just have a quick look at this. In fact,
who's this from?
Well, can anyone guess who I got a message from?
Is it guessable? Is it like?
Oh, it's definitely guessable. I'm not going to say Haaland at halftime or nothing like that. It's a guessable. There we go. There we go. So I didn't see this. Like I said, I was in bed sleeping most of the day. However, I did get a message from Alan.
That would be when we were 2-1 down.
At halftime saying basketball game.
Yeah, that's because I sent that to him. He literally, he was texting.
You won't let him take any credit for himself, will you?
Exposed in
No,
480.
Yeah.
I'll send you the screenshots. He was having a heart attack in that first half. The guy was melting down. You should have seen. Oh my word, he was gone. He was off the planet by the first 20 minutes. He was like, "What are we doing? What is this? What's Pep doing? He's playing." I'm like, calm down.
First 20 minutes. We were good first 20 minutes. What? We were quite good in the first half, I thought.
No,
Sorry, Dabs. You were saying?
No. That was the exact reaction I wanted, to be honest with you. I mean, apart from the fact that Martin's taking credit.
I love him
He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, look, I think in the. By the way, I have watched the game back now. I tend to agree with you. I don't think we started the game badly at all. I was quite happy with the. I think we've come to expect that we're not going to keep clean sheets at the moment. So I think were we kind of expecting potentially a bit of a high scoring game? I think we were, weren't we, going into this game? So, but Nobbins, from you, was there anything that surprised you?
I think I don't know if surprised is the right word for what I'm about to say. Maybe disappointed is that though I know lots of people were down after the Forest game. I didn't really understand that because I actually thought that the performance against Forest was quite good.
Yeah.
The main reason why I thought it was quite good, and I appreciate we lost, that's fine. But the reason why I thought the performance was quite good, and the manner of which it happened was throughout the entirety of the season, the biggest issue for City has been a defensive one. Now, yes, our attack hasn't been good enough this season to win the title. The reality is that only Liverpool have scored more goals than us in the Premier League this season. The attack has been good enough to finish second in the table, maybe even compete for it. Maybe not win it because we're still far away from Liverpool in that respect, but certainly it's been good enough to get second, whatever. The defense hasn't been good enough. We've now conceded 40 league goals, which is the most by a Guardiola side ever, something like that. Something like that.
Along those lines.
So that's why I was so happy with the Forest performance to an extent, because whilst we weren't brilliant going forward, we still created some good half chances. Forest are one of the best defensive sides in the league. And from our perspective defensively, we barely let Forest have a sniff until we made those changes and we were weaker. So I was hoping we'd be able to build on that from a defensive perspective. The exact opposite happened against Brighton. This is why I'm disappointed. I think we conceded 6 big chances according to Opta, which is about where we were in that period, from October, November, December, when we had that horrendous run. So it's a little bit disappointing to me that we haven't yet this season, apart from maybe 2 games, had a full 90 where we've been both good defensively and offensively. I think it's happened against Newcastle and Chelsea. Apart from that, can't think of another occasion. So it's this weird thing of against Forest. Okay, maybe the attack wasn't good enough, but the defense was great. Now against Brighton, the attack's good enough. Didn't finish, but in terms of creation, it was good enough. But we've gone backwards in terms of the defense. We haven't been able to find that balance yet this season. I think that's what disappointed me the most about the Brighton game. I actually preferred the Forest performance, to be honest with you, to an extent because of that. I don't know if that surprised me because we've seen that a lot this season, but it certainly disappointed me. And it shows that, we've not yet found that balance yet. You can't win the title if you don't have a great offense and a good defense. We need to find that balance. Hopefully we get that next season. That was a long-winded answer. I don't know if that was the answer we wanted.
I am kind of with you with those 2 performances, that I don't think either performances surprised me that much. I think the Forest performance, I almost felt like people had maybe, I think I know where we are this season. And I think that I know that it's not just going to be, we're not going to be back like that. So I think there is context to the teams that, I think we ultimately at the moment are performing the way our league position looks. And I think if you look at over recent weeks, it is exactly that. Since we've made the signings in January, We've lost to Forest. We've lost to Liverpool. We've lost to Arsenal. We've lost to Real Madrid. And you could kind of argue we've lost to PSG because that was while we were making the signings. Now, if you look at that, 3 of those teams are above us in the Premier League. And the 2 Champions League teams have qualified through to a latter stage than us, right? So ultimately, we've only lost 2 teams that are, at this point, better than us, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And at this weekend, we came up against a team that we are competing for a top 5 place with, and we drew with, right? Now, is that acceptable? Is that where I want us to be? Absolutely not, right? But is that where we are? Yes. And I think that's probably why we're looking at the Bournemouth away game in the Cup going, fucking difficult one, because they're in a similar position to us. Martin, you did think we were going to beat Brighton, though.
Yeah, I did, because I thought the game went exactly as I expected.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a basketball game. Personally, I'm not going to lie, I don't like basketball games, as I call them. What I mean by I hate them. And what I mean by basketball games is basically it's you attack, we attack. Because if you look at Brighton were catching us on the break. When you've got the 2 wingers they've got, they are dangerous. Of course they are.
Yeah.
And it was never about... It was the complete opposite to Nottingham Forest. And I suppose... when fans want a certain style of play, I suppose it's a subjective viewpoint. Because by the way, if I keep hearing Sane Sterling season, because that, I'm going to be honest, is really getting on my wick. Because that's all anyone goes back to. Is football about winning or is it about entertaining? Do we want to become Newcastle United of 1996, 97, where they play breathtaking football and walk away with nothing? Is that what we want? Is this what we want?
I think we've probably got to a point where we've been blessed with being almost entitled to both. And I know no one's entitled. I guess no one's entitled to both, but you know, when you become used to something, we are used to, you know, we certainly didn't win leagues and doubles and trebles and 100-point seasons by playing boring football. So
I agree.
I think, you know, I've never personally thought that the Pep style of football is boring. It's confused me when it gets called that. I don't think it was called that at Barcelona. I think
that. So sorry to interrupt. I think that when people say it's boring for the in terms of, like, you know, the time at City, what they actually mean, because it's rival fans who say this, obviously, what they actually mean is the end result for them is boring because they knew when we were going through our period of dominance that it was not a certainty, but the chance was City were going to dominate the play, and therefore the team they wanted to lose wasn't going to lose. I think that's basically what it means.
I will do. I swear I will. I don't think it is rival fans anymore, Nobbins.
I'm not talking about this season, Martin. I'm talking about in the past.
Oh, right.
This season is different because this season we haven't been good enough.
No,
but in the past, so you can't tell me the Centurion season was boring football to watch. It was boring from a rival fan because you know the City are going to win. But
the treble season wasn't boring, and we went pragmatic then. From February onwards, because you know, I always remember we were going against Real Madrid and we were attacking. We were going to the Allianz Arena and we were going to Madrid and we were doing something we never did. We were scoring and then just going very pragmatic, shutting up the shop and going right. Because we'd learned that is how you win the Champions League.
Yeah.
You don't win the Champions League on a basketball game. End to end, let's go. Because you get killed doing that on transitions. The biggest thing this season is, I think some have thought we spent 200 million in Jan. That was, hey presto, everything was fixed. It was only, and that's why I said, if you look at our results, people have misunderstood, because I came out with a stat the other day. I said we won 6 out of the last 10 in the league. Now, that wasn't because of me trying to be happy clappy. That was since January, we have improved.
Oh, wait.
We 100% have, but we've not improved to a level that was ever going to get us back to the level.
That won't happen.
We've been used to.
You
I
can't
think,
rebuild the midfield with one
Oh,
midfield.
and that's the point.
We-
It's
we-
baby steps.
yeah. This is the thing. We are right. If anyone thought that a good transfer window was going to actually mean that we're not a team in a rebuild, they're wrong. We are, right. We're a team in a rebuild. January, I think we've addressed the defense predominantly, and we've brought in a 6 now, or an 8 that's doing the 6 role. The proof is in the pudding. Before Gonzalez arrived, and this is the thing, because at the moment, I think as a fan base, we're all agreeing that Kuzanov has definitely hit the ground running. And we would all agree. Now, although rivals probably want to say otherwise and say he hasn't been that good, I think we all agree that
Rio's
Kuzanov
third
has
now,
been. But it's a thing. People, it's 1,000,000%. It's a thing. Obviously, Marmoush, that's going forward, and Marmoush is having some really good games, some bit more quiet, but that's expected. It's his first season in the Premier League. Overall, he's still having a great season. The Gonzalez one, when people try and kind of, I haven't really seen him make a difference. The very simple thing for that is that at the end of the day, before he arrived, people were waltzing through our midfield and we were getting banged 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, conceding 3 against Feyenoord from being 3-0 up. People are not walking through our midfield now. So Gonzalez has made a difference. But I think you're right, Martin. Things don't happen overnight. So anyone that thought we were going to go instantly back to being, challenging for a league city, no, it's not going to be that. I hope to God that we get this summer right, and that maybe next season we might be. But I think we're all ready that might not happen, and that next season,
as long as we're competing. For me, next season is about competing. I'm not going to say he must win the league, because I think that's you don't know. If we're going to do this rebuild and we think we're going to spend what we're going to spend and do move out and move in, I think there'll be significant movement. I don't think there'll be the numbers people are talking about. I don't think will happen. Don't think you're shifting 10 and bringing in 8. I think we'll make significant signings. But what I will say is, I think he's got to compete next season. I think we're going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
That's what
he should.
Yeah, I think I think Martin, you were on the end of the stream. Actually, just going to stop here really, really quickly. For people that don't know, people that watch the channel, we are the South Stand. You will have seen our good friend, True City fan Patrick, on shows on this channel. You will have seen him on Mancunian Way before. You certainly will have seen him on many Spaces with Martin before. For those of you that don't know, Patrick's been fighting a battle against cancer for the last, I believe it's the last 2 years, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, he wanted to keep it quiet for a long time.
And any of you that's seen him, you'll have seen how much of a positive person he is. He's on streams, always smiling, always happy. Little will many of you know that he's been fighting this in the background, still maintaining his positive attitude. Had radiotherapy a year ago. They thought that it had gone. Been having scans recently and found that it had come back, and that it was now type 4, which is now within the bone. So he's still remained positive. Still, obviously, look, you've seen him since this channel has started. He's probably done half a dozen at very least shows on this channel, turning up, happy, smiley, bantering, allowing me to banter him about Jack Grealish and his dislike for Jack Grealish and his love for Jeremy Doku. Anyway, he recently, I think Thursday or Friday last week, came across some a type of treatment that you can't get in this country. I'm not going to say the name of the treatment because I will get it wrong. Martin, if you know what it is or anyone does, but it's a treatment that you can only get in, I think, Japan, I think in Germany, Turkey. And he set up a GoFundMe to try and raise the funds to get it done. Proud to announce this is not just from Never a Foul. This is from every single content creator, from Never a Foul, from Mancunian Way, from Hassam, from Mo, from the Football Terrace have been involved. Everyone on Twitter getting involved, sharing the link. Today, we've now, since Friday, we've raised nearly £21,000 for him, which means he will be able to,
over 21 now.
Is it over 21 now? I'm going to put the link in here. The treatment is a lot, and obviously dependent on the amount that is raised, that depends on where he will get the treatment, depends on, he's still in consultation about what exact treatment he gets. There's also the cost of flights to get over there. People, if I could ask you, whether it be £1, £2, £5, whatever you can afford to donate, please. I've just put the link, and I'm gonna pin the link in a sec. In fact, I don't know if any of the mods can. The mods, if not, I'm gonna pin the link. But I've just put the link in the chat now. If anyone could jump on there, if you can, and donate anything, please do. It's for such a good cause. He's such a great guy, and just he's staying positive for everyone around him. He's positive around all of us. He's got a little 9-year-old daughter who's staying positive for. So please, just go and support the cause. It's a great cause. So yeah, I've put it in there, and I'm gonna pin it shortly.
I have also I've tagged the club in a few things today, because I want people to really tag the club on this, because I know the club get inundated with stuff like this. I know they do, and I've done it for my situation. But for part, I think it'd be nice if we just do something to get him over for a game, even just anything for him.
Do you know something Steve and I've been saying to him for a couple of weeks now? Just tell us when you. I mean, at the moment, obviously, his priority is going to be going and getting that.
Yes,
treatment.
Of course it is.
But we 100% need to get him over for a game, because he's one of the good ones. Really is one of the good ones. So, but shout out to everyone that's donated already. So Matteo just asking, how much is it that actually needs for the op? I think, like I said, he's still in consultation with. Because the mad thing is, and it's very sad that in this country, you can't have the operation, or as far as
you can have it in the UK, you can't have it in Ireland where he is.
So you can't have it in Ireland. Yeah, that's it.
And each country is a different amount. So one's 50 grand, one's 20. It's completely different into different countries. Yeah, and people are sharing it. He's looking at Turkey at the minute. He has also looking at other options where he can potentially go. The UK is a lot more expensive than Ireland. Just don't. What it is Ireland just do not offer the treatment in Ireland. They just don't. He needs to go somewhere else. So So he's got. He's tell you what though. Sorry, his spirits are so high.
Yeah,
I've never. If that was me, and you wouldn't say I'd be gone. The guy is here, face out, smiling, winding everyone up as he does on his Jack Grealish stuff and his Jeremy Doku. He likes to do it. He loves the Doku Grealish debate. I've had a debate for 3 years with Pat on this.
So earlier on, I think when someone mentioned about getting the club involved and maybe that a player might, I said he was on the stream with us. I said, Patrick, I said, if Grealish was to, would you lay off Grealish? And he said, yeah, I'd lay off him for a few weeks until the operation's done. Then no.
And then I'm back at him.
Then I'm backing him. No. I actually was gonna. There was actually a reason why I moved on to that. It was the usual Daps tedious link. There's a conversation we had with him, but no, I thought it was important that we bring up that and keep the great work. Look, and look. Patrick, like I said, he's a good one. As soon as this is booked, he's going to keep us all informed, and we just wish him a speedy recovery for him and his daughter and the rest of his family. Right. Moving on, though. Were we lucky to get a point?
Yeah, I thought they deserved to win it. I thought they edged it. I think a draw's probably fair, but if anybody did, it was Brighton. Nobbin said earlier about the chances that they had, and that one where they squared it across and he pretty much on the penalty spot and ballooned it over. I mean, we all saw it coming, the ball coming in, and we were like, "Oh shit!" And ballooned it thankfully. But Brighton deserve a lot of credit Luke in the chat said the same. They're a very, very good team. Some good young players, good manager, very good manager, it appears. And I thought they were really good. They came to City not afraid, not at all. Sometimes when they come to our place, they try and play their way and they end up losing 3-0. But that day, they fancied it, and you could tell at 2-2, especially straight after 2-2, they really fancied it. And credit to them, they gave us a game, and I thought they were marginally the better side.
Nobbins, your boy. Is his stock gone up, Belieber?
He is my boy, yeah.
He is your boy. I know he is. I know you're a big fan of him. Is his stock gone up even more now, or you know?
Well, I think just like this season generally, hopefully it has gone up. I think sadly from a City perspective, it's probably gone up too much.
Yeah.
For City to justify paying the money Brighton would want for him. I think that Brighton would want a similar amount to however much they sold Caicedo for, maybe even more. Lots of people would argue that at their respective ages, Baleba actually better than Caicedo. Therefore, in theory, maybe he's got a higher ceiling. It doesn't have to be Baleba. It could be. It just has to be someone of his ilk and of his skill set. But I think he's illustrated it in both games. In fairness, whenever he's come up against City, he's sort of illustrated to our midfield what we have been missing all season. And we do, it's great. I think we touched on it earlier. It's great that we've signed Nico. He's a necessary signing. But you can't rebuild a midfield with one midfielder. You need to sign at least another one.
And that's without others leaving, right?
Indeed, yeah. Look, if I don't know whether a big sale will happen, but if, for example, but Gundo and Kova and Nunes and Bernardo all left, then you're looking at signing more than one, aren't you? That's absolutely a thing.
Okay. People, please, 377 of you in here. Thank you very much for all showing your support. Please make sure you are hitting that like button. Let's get that like up towards 300, please, people. Martin, I'm going to come to you first. We saw Foden and De Bruyne.
Mm-hmm.
Are you any more convinced on De Bruyne? Should he stay or go?
I think De Bruyne needs to leave. I don't want to do the sentimental stuff. That's what's put us in the problem in the first place.
Yep.
By the way, that does not mean that I hate De Bruyne and I'm saying he's crap and I want him out. Listen, let's say I'm trying to do this in an unsentimental, unemotional way.
Yeah.
Listen, if I could keep De Bruyne forever, I would. It's not because I think he.
You just said you wanted him out.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the problem on these conversations. We get it all twisted. Yes, I love him, but I think he needs to go for his own career. Because if he stays another year, I can see a Kyle Walker situation happening.
Yeah. See,
a Gundogan situation.
See,
happening.
This
doesn't deserve that.
See, this is the thing. When I see this, Linny, I think there's 12 months in the old dog yet. Over recent weeks, I'm still, in fact, Friday night, Nobbins, I think I remember at one point, I don't know if you were there yet or not, but having a conversation and me getting quite heated, going, no, he needs to go.
I recall that, yes. I was there.
And there's still, is anyone seeing, like, right now in recent weeks, and when I say recent weeks, I'm going to say in the last month, is anyone seeing anything from De Bruyne that makes you think that he should stay?
No.
Please tell me
Sadly,
now.
no.
This is like a wedding, right? If anyone knows of any reason why these two should not get married, please speak now. Right, De Bruyne is going. De Bruyne is going. If anyone thinks of any reason, please speak now, and not apart from sentiment. Is it me that I'm just seeing him deteriorate more than I've ever seen a player deteriorate?
I think that I'm. It depends on what happens in the summer. I'm going to. This isn't even maybe what I actually think, because I don't fully know what I think. So maybe this is some devil's advocate going on. But in terms of what the arguments might be, in the first instance, we are losing a lot of experience this summer. That's the idea anyway. In theory, Gundogan's going to be gone. Walker's going to be gone.
Yeah.
There might be other experienced players leaving. If there's going to be a big transition, we can't have too many experienced players all leaving at once. So if there's maybe an option for him to stay for a year, maybe that's an argument. The other argument might be even if we do sign a more creative midfielder, even if we don't, and then we put our eggs into the Echeverri basket, it could be wise to keep him in order for Echeverri to learn from him, because Echeverri is still, there's a reason why Echeverri hasn't yet even featured on the bench yet. One of those reasons, in my opinion, when I eventually get to my analysis video, I'll go into more detail, is basically that there is a decision-making potential issue there. He's 19 years old. That makes sense. Someone like De Bruyne could mentor him in that sense.
Right.
For that year. That's maybe another reason. And I think that finally, I would contend that maybe the biggest reason why we've seen De Bruyne fall off a cliff, I don't know what terminology you want to say, this season, is that this season we have clearly been, it's not new information, have been struggling from a physicality perspective. There's no legs in the team. There's no counter-pressing in the team. And with that, De Bruyne has struggled because he's not able to contribute there either. And the team hasn't been able to protect him either. I think that we saw, extreme examples, but, we saw it with Scholes at United, and we saw it with Pirlo for the Italian national side and Juventus. There is a world where you can get players like this into your team and have a functioning team and get the most of their abilities while still protecting them. So those would be the counter arguments. I'm not even saying I agree with all of those. Yeah, but I am saying that,
which is fair.
Yeah, because I actually don't know. I actually don't know myself yet. I haven't quite decided, but I'm just trying to say that maybe those are some things. I do think that if you put, De Bruyne back into a side which had Nico and Rodri and someone like a Baleba in there to do the running for him, I think you would consequently see a better De Bruyne, because people would be doing the running for him.
And this is my concern is, right, that. And by the way, let me just, I hope I don't need to say this on this channel anymore, because I think people know my opinion enough. But with any player at this football club, if I'm talking about, is it time for them to go? Please never, ever, ever think that this is a get out of my club or a F off or any of that. It is not, I assure you. It will never be that for me with any player that's given their blood, sweat and tears for this club. Right, it is more a case of that it's a conversation, and the key with Kevin De Bruyne is, if Kevin De Bruyne still had 2 years on his contract, then I'd be saying, do you know what, let him run down his contract, because I'm a strong believer that one of the best things we've done with a lot of our legends is allow them to run down their contract and they get that one last big payday elsewhere. So the whole thing now is De Bruyne his contract is up in the summer, and he's currently on, I think, 350 a week. We know that he'll be offered something similar or maybe even better than that elsewhere. If he stays, he's going to move on to 150 grand a week with bonuses, I believe. That's what they're talking about. I don't want that for De Bruyne, to be honest with you. I'd rather De Bruyne, and I don't want to see De Bruyne playing off of the bench, bit part player, and I don't want to see him coming on and playing those simple 20-yard passes and not even being able to make them. Because that's what I've seen recently. It's not his... I do understand he's never going to be able to drive from deep like he used to. One of my biggest things that I used to have a real bugbear about is when people would never speak on how good defensively Kevin De Bruyne was, how much of a work rate he used to put in. It used to really piss me off, because I think, why don't people talk about those other elements of his game? So I get we're not going to see that anymore. My worry is that even when I've seen him have 10-day breaks, he's not making the passes that he used to anymore. And that's why I just think at the moment, I hear, do you know what? I actually do hear Bernardo Silva and Kovacic, if they were in a younger squad and as bit part players, I think we could still see some more out of them. I just don't know if we're going to see any more out of Kev anymore, even with young players around him. I just think it's gone now, and I think that's fine. There's a reason why at his age most professional footballers are playing in the MLS or have gone off to the Saudi league or something. So, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Do you know what? It's a shame. It's a shame that it ends this way.
It's a shame to be talking like this. This is what it is, because you feel guilty saying it. But let's be honest, sentimentality is the reason we're in this mess.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
This is what people got to realise.
It is.
Well,
you
there, Tone?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
you had a bit of a
just like Bobby Dabro there.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, I think it was Instagram, so I'm sorry about this stat, but I think it's 17 minutes he's averaged in the last 2.5 months or something on the pitch. I don't know if that's right, but yeah, that just points to where we are at with him at the moment. Sadly, that he'll go down as one of our best ever, but you've got to know when it's time to move on.
And do you know what? When it is time to move on, that's when those debates start. I think the Premier League one for me. I don't even want to have the best. I don't want to have the conversation about is he our best ever player? For me, I'd rather concentrate on is he the best Premier League midfielder of all time, and not have the internal ones. I'd rather compare him to Gerrard and Scholes and have those conversations.
He eclipsed Gerrard a while ago. I can't lie.
For me,
I'm not being. There are levels to this game.
Yeah.
The Bruyne is eating at the same table as Xavi and Iniesta. Gerrard's chilling over there. That's absolutely fine, but he's not over here with Pirlo and De Bruyne. No.
I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you at all. I think the Gerrard one. I think he really has surpassed Gerrard. Right. Just a couple of super chats. First one, thank you very much to MCFC. I know this was sent in earlier. Sorry. It says, big up, lads. Hope all of you are doing well. Any news on when the 115 verdict is coming and anything on Verts or other summoned targets? Do you expect us to outspend our 2017 window? Right. So let's address the first one, the 115. I think we've all seen that it seems like it's coming soon. I think we've spoken in previous weeks.
At least a month.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the month thing. I'm not going to lie. I'm convinced we're going to hear about it in the next 10 days.
At least a month. Is that where we're going? At least.
Keegan said in the next month, didn't he?
Yeah, he said next month. I didn't know that was at least a month.
I honestly, I thought we would have heard about it, but during this international break, that's the feeling I got. But Wednesday tomorrow, once we get into the actual games playing, I don't know if we will hear about it, because I do think there is timings to these things. And once England start playing and whatever else, I don't know if the FA will be or the Premier League will be putting out, but we'll wait and see.
I think it'd be stupid to carry it on, because you're putting, I think the Premier League are putting themselves into position. You're getting to a point where titles are going to be lifted, trophies are being looked at, and then you drop that in the middle of it all.
Yeah,
it's going to look stupid for everyone. This is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, it's just I guess we're that's us saying that they've already made a decision and they're just waiting to drop it at the right time. Who knows? What's going on here? So I guess the answer to your question is we know nothing. On the Verts target, I think back end of last week, I think there was some positive news on the Verts front, wasn't there? That maybe previously, I think it's come out that Verts wasn't too keen on Manchester City, but that actually maybe now City do seem to be taking a bit of a kind of front foot on it, and that maybe
sounding more positive.
Do you know what? Just to say on that, I expect that, because I understand that making the Verts signing is difficult. But making the Haaland signing was difficult. Making the De Bruyne signing was difficult. At times, there's signings that must be made, and when this club seems to need to make a signing, they put on the charm offensive. And I just have a gut feeling that this Verts signing, it's one of those. I don't know if there's many other targets that are even close to Verts, and I think City might be. at this point putting almost their all into Wirtz. I really do. Nobbins, would you agree that Wirtz is a must for this team and this rebuild?
I don't know. That sounds really boring. I don't think he's a must. I don't think that City necessarily absolutely need this sort of absolute direct Kevin De Bruyne replacement, by which I mean an absolute central high volume passer. I think we saw against Spurs, for example, you don't necessarily need that in the side so long as you have creativity elsewhere. That's what Savio and Doku did that day. I think the best example for me is, I'm not saying we should play like this. I just don't know if it's an absolute necessity. I think the best example for me was what Klopp's Liverpool was. If you look at like who were the creators in that side, it wasn't Wijnaldum, it wasn't Fabinho, it wasn't Henderson. It all came from the fullbacks and obviously the wide players. I'm not saying that they play the same way, but I don't know if it's as black and white as we absolutely need that player. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
I don't know though. Again, I'm sorry, that's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny because I don't usually hear you say I don't know.
Yeah. I like to think I'm quite arrogant to know everything, but I don't, sadly.
No, I haven't heard you say I don't know before, to be honest. But finally, I was just going to say 2017. I presume the 2017 summer was Bernardo, Walker, Edison.
The big one before the Centurion year. Yeah, that
How much
was
was it
mad.
then?
Pardon?
Well, I mean, I think we bought 3 fullbacks. So each at 50 million.
Edison was about 30 million. Walker was about 50. Mendy was about 50. Bernardo was about 50. Yeah, Danilo was about 30.
Yeah.
That's a lot of boys. That's a lot of boys right there.
You've got to think we've already done January as well, and that's the difference. Whereas that was one window, we've already done a fair whack in January. It's going to be a busy window. It's going to be. I'll tell you what. It's going to be a fun summer. Actually, bit breaking. Well, I don't know if I broke this last week, but from the 1st of April, we're going to be aiming to do 2 shows a day on this channel. One's going to be kind of early morning, one later in the day, to keep you up with all the transfer news as and through the summer. It's definitely going to be a busy summer. To think that we've got we've got all the players that might be going, might be staying, might need replacing, might not need replacing. We've got the players that we already need to bring in, and the fact we've got a Club World Cup as well. It is going to be a very, very, very busy summer. Next super chat is from the formidable Centurion, sending £2 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Love all your support as always. Spartacus 5543 said KDB's work rate is one of the main reasons to why a KDB, Ferner and Silva 3 worked. I completely agree on that. His physicality was a massive part of his game. 100% agree with you on that. Couldn't agree with you more. I always felt it was so underrated. Is battling back.
Just on that, totally agree. That's why it annoys me when people they try, because whenever we talk about is he the best midfielder in Premier League history, obviously he is. People's only retort to that actually is, well, actually he's not a midfielder. He's actually more of a second striker. That's right. If you asked Kevin De Bruyne in the season Spartacus is talking about, De Bruyne literally described himself as a box-to-box midfielder. So unless you reckon you know more about Kevin De Bruyne's position than him.
He was.
It's second striker, people. Shut up. You're wrong.
Well, I've never even with the 10. For me, I think he's always been a bit of a kind of for me, he's a bit of a right-sided midfielder, pretty much.
Yeah,
Look at a lot of his assists, and you'll see where they come in from. They kind of come in from a pretty similar position to Beckham at times, to be honest with you. But anyway, and finally, KDB is reminding me of Yaya at the end. Hard to watch. Yeah, that's the same for me. Right. What else do we need to talk about? So we've spoke about the draw. Martin, I think you touched on it earlier. Ultimately, I did want to give, and maybe we've got 10, 15 minutes. I want to speak about the club a little bit, but I kind of wanted to look at a bit of a review of the last 3 months. Yeah, I think 3 months is probably about right, because I think it's been a frustrating 3 months. But I honestly, me personally, I don't think it's been a shit 3 months. I think November, December, and the very early part of January, that wasn't great.
Start of the season.
That
That was
wasn't
shit.
great.
That was shit.
I just think the last 3 months has been frustrating because it's been stop-start.
The last 3 months, he's basically City in transition.
Yeah.
Is the way I view it. It's a transition period. We know there are players who probably should leave, may leave, whatever leave. Because I don't think we will lose everyone. I know there's this belief 9, 10 go out. I don't think they will. That Bernardo probably stays. I think Gundo probably stays, and Stones and Ake will stay.
Yeah.
I have my reasons behind that, because I look at Núñez, I look at Kovacic, and I think cold hard cash you can get for them. You're not going to get a lot for Stones. You're not going to get a lot probably for an Ake. You're not going to get you're not going to get nothing for Gundo. And Bernardo's got 12 months left in his deal. You're still going to need some experience. We're not building a brand new squad. What we need to buy are first-team players. So that's why I'm keeping some of them. All I'm doing is moving Bernardo. This sounds so disrespectful. I'm moving a Bernardo, etc., down to squad rotational players. Yeah. They become the new Kovacic, and that sounds so disrespectful. I don't mean it in that way. Stones becomes the backup player coming off the bench, where, cushion off, Hayes, whoever, come in and do that. I think what I've seen in the last 3 months is Pep doing that. I think he's done that with Kovacic. You notice Kovacic just suddenly just started going suddenly out of the squad more and more. I think this is what we'll do. I think we are playing better. I don't think we're playing as good as what people want. I think we're in the middle of a transition, because here's my thing. I think Pep knows the problems. I think Pep understands the problems, but he can't do a lot about it right now.
Yeah.
I think he knows he needs a new fitness coach. Probably needs that. He needs a little bit of a refresh in his backroom staff. All of that will come. If the club had sat on their backside and done nothing in January, and I hadn't seen he's improved in defence, Nobbins is spot on. For all the chances apparently we give up, we're up there as one of the top goal-scoring teams in the whole league.
Yeah,
I've been mentioning that for 2 weeks. I think
so Tottenham, by the way.
No, I understand that. No, but
put some context.
It's more. But Tottenham are criticising the defence, not the finishing. Yeah, we're criticising the finishing.
Same time, I wouldn't say that Tottenham are a team that I go fucking hell. They're scary going forward.
Exactly. You've got Rodri coming back. You've got new players coming back. I'm happy for it.
Yeah,
but it's what. And people can go, can call me happy clapper and whatever they want. That's absolutely fine. If
happy clapper is a term, you do realise, amongst us at very least, happy clapper is a term of endearment. Yeah,
it's a good thing. I call me happy clapper.
It's a good thing. We
you know what I say?
We need
I'm one of them people. If I can't see a clear path to improvement, then I worry. Right now, I see a clear path. I see what we're trying to do, what we're going to implement, and what we're going to do. Right, I can see we're trying. If my club was doing an Arsenal and sat on their hands in January when they needed a striker and they needed God knows everything else, and their board went, nah, we're all right, go with it.
I agree.
That's when I'm going, you know what, I have concerns.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's my thing. I can see a clear path and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Go on, Todd.
He's not going to start going all experimental with 9 games to go and start rolling around Echeverri and all this. Fans are doing that because they want things to suddenly just go bang. I get it. But with 9 games to go, no manager is suddenly going to start experimenting all over the gaff and throwing randomers in. He should be on the bench. Yes. Marmoush is looks hungry. I can't wait to see. My thing with Marmoush is, and I'm long-winding this, I apologise, is I think Pep's still trying to figure out where to put him in his best position. I think he's still trying to figure out where do I put him for his best sort of output for this team.
Yeah. I can
But
see
I also think
Nobbins nodding.
what
And
Nobbins
I agree as well.
tells you what I do watch Nobbins videos. It also depends the way we play.
Yeah, a
Because we do the
million%.
tippy tappy sideways stuff. Marmoush you might as well just go sit there, mate, and watch. Because if you start up in the tempo, then great. It's like the Doku and I've seen this all week, Doku and the Sabio debate and the Grealish debate. And do you know what? That's personal preference. A player may want an exciting, young, let's go attack all out the winger. Doesn't make them shit, it's just what you prefer.
Yeah,
Other
agreed.
people prefer a nice Jack Grealish who defends and everything else. Some like Sterling, some like Sane, some like a Rafael Leao, some love a Nico Williams. I know a mate of mine hates Nico Williams. He said he'd be the most frustrating player he's
I've
ever
heard.
watched.
Yeah, Lee Gunner.
He said he wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
Yeah,
because he'd annoy him.
Do you know? I think another thing that we touched on this earlier on Never a Foul that I think is so true at the moment is that when you're not winning things, any game you lose, straight away you're just calling out changes. Like, and I think Echeverri is because I can see people asking about what's the plan with Echeverri. The truth is, I don't think Pep even knows what the plan with Echeverri is yet. Right. So we certainly don't. We have to remember he's 18 years old. That's the starters with Echeverri. And however good he has looked, let's remember he's looked good in a tournament against other players of a similar. Sorry, I say he's 18. I know I get pulled up for this all the time. He's young. I'm just going to say he's young. And when we've seen him looking very good, and everything I hear is great stuff about him. However, it has also been in a tournament against other young players, right? So I think we're all of us are very eager to see him. I personally do think maybe that Forest away game, I might have brought him on in the second half just to, do you know what? Let's see what he can do. I have a hope that we will see him in the back end of the season, but I don't think we can put all of our hopes that, again, we start Echeverri in a Premier League game and we're going to win it, right? He's 18.
Yeah, Daps, also, we're not in a position where we can throw in what is essentially an inexperienced player in now because we have a lot to fight for. There seems to be this sense that, City are done this season. We're not done. We've got to finish in the top 5. That's absolutely essential for the market and all the rest of the money and all that sort of side, especially if we get relegated 4 divisions. And also, it's absolutely essential. We're still in the FA Cup. And I think that's what frustrates me, what you were saying about this season and recently and so on, is that we had a really good week where I think we beat Ipswich and Chelsea in the space of 7 or 8 days. I think we smashed Ipswich and then beat Chelsea. I think we may have lost to Paris in between. But in the Premier League, we did really well. And you thought, we're just starting to find it. And then obviously it goes off. We've got Bournemouth next. It wouldn't surprise me if we went to Bournemouth and won 3-0 and we turned it on big time. But then it wouldn't surprise me if we lost 3-0 and decided to defend like headless chickens again. So we just don't know with City at the moment. And the people that are having meltdowns and so on are the ones that aren't with reality at the moment, which the reality is the Brighton game. That, to me, summed up where Manchester City are right now. We're a bit dodgy at the back at times. There are moments of class. And that's just where City are right now. But I will say this, I have zero doubt, absolutely not even 1% of doubt, that Pep, the board and everybody will sort this out in the summer and onwards. It will take longer than the summer, but Viana, Pep and whoever will sort this out. They absolutely will. You've seen, Martin said, you've seen in January, they've made, in my view, a big statement there. They've thrown a couple of 100 million out and said, this is just the start. We're not sitting around. We will rebuild this shit. And they will. And I've no doubts in City in next phase.
Yeah. I agree with you. Look, I do agree with you. Nobbins, anything to add on Echeverri? Because I know I can see everyone in the comments, people saying that he's a proper baller. He looks it from what I've seen, 100% looks it. I've seen people saying Barca wanted him. If he went to Barca, he would have been playing straight away.
But they don't know that. Who they dropping? Who they dropping at Barcelona?
This is the thing. I think all of it is an uncertainty.
Are they chucking Dani Olmo out for him? No. This is what people are not being. It's because they just want him in, and they're
Agreed.
If 9 games to go, I'm more concerned about it. Everyone's on about though. I hear about is it Medeska Nobbins, who's the young kid down in the under-18s.
There's a
Yeah. Someone's like, get him in. What? Are we just leapfrogging now with 9 games to go and we're bringing anybody in? Is this
there's a big jump between Premier League 2 and the Premier League.
It's major panic. Yeah. Sorry, it's panic. It's because you want to say, right, let's go. It doesn't. People listen. Rico Lewis came in because of a situation that was going on at the time behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, even
now, was already kicking off at that point.
But even now, with someone said, "Oh well, Etihad is older than Vitor Hayes." Possibly so, but Vitor Hayes has probably got game time this season because we've got 3 centre backs out injured. Right?
We've got an injury crisis. We've not an injury crisis at 10.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, and I just think as well, Etihad played a long tournament where he also picked up an injury at the end of the tournament. I know he played in the final, which was a bit of a risk. I think Pep's probably trying to embed him a little bit and not put too much hope onto him. We're all hopeful to see him. Look, don't get me wrong. I do want to see him, but Nobbins...
He should be on the bench. Like I said, he should be on the bench.
He should be on the bench.
Can I just say with McAtee, though, with Etihad, it wasn't that long ago that people were saying, McAtee must start. McAtee has to start.
Yeah.
He's got to play. He's now forgotten about because he had.
Well, no, he's not. Then he started a few games. Then all of a sudden, you're seeing, you know what? He's just not good enough.
Now everyone's put him in the Florian Wirtz deal, and they've kicked him out.
Yeah,
literally.
And
now he's Wirtz. Bye.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. It for me, and so I know as well. For me, I'm all behind going with the EDS, but it's not being done from the right way of doing it. It's being done because we're panicking. It's not being done because you really want them in. Because if we bought a Wirtz, you're not going to say, well, Etihad is in, we'll leave Wirtz.
No.
You would swap them around tomorrow. It's because we're desperate now.
I think that it's so hard to say calm down, but do you know what? I'm putting my Steve hat on now. If Steve was here, he'd be saying, everyone just calm down, right? Just calm down. We need to give Pep a bit of time, right? As far as we've got a lot of players that have already just joined. And right now, Pep is probably thinking about the best way to get the best out of the 3 or 4 senior players that we've brought in to get us over the line and get Champions League football, because that Champions League football is very important. We're talking about Florian Wirtz. If we don't get Champions League football, it makes that Florian Wirtz deal really, really difficult to make happen, right? We've also seen the other thing coming out today. I think personally it's a load of BS that Haaland, if we don't get Champions League football, will force a move. I think that's absolute bullshit. But all of these things, it is relevant. So I think Pep probably is currently focusing on let's get the job done right now. And then through the summer, I have no doubt we will see a lot more of Vitor Hayes. We'll probably see a lot more of Etihad and probably some of the other youngsters come through. Nobbins, anything to add on that? Just
this is not the time to be throwing in a 19-year-old who has got very minimal experience at the senior level and who's just coming off an injury after a very intense tournament for Argentina. He's not even made the Argentina squad, has he?
No.
I'm not trying to downplay how good he is as a player, because he's a very exciting player, but people are talking about him as if he's a must-starter. Well, if he's a must-starter, then tell me why he's not even made the Argentine national side. Because people. No, I'm not going to go with him because he's a fantastic player.
But I'm loving it.
No, but it's just that people think, and throw him in now because he'll immediately transform City into this wonderful attacking unit. That's not going to happen, guys. Like, we're living in a fairy tale. I think Daps touched on it earlier. People are like, just start McAtee and all our problems will be sorted. It's happened with every single player. Just bench Walker will be fine. Just bench Lewis will be fine. Bench Foden will be
and
fine.
that's what I mean.
Will be
You
fine.
are spouting facts.
It's not that simple, I'm afraid. And we've got 9 or 10 games left in the league, and it's incredibly essential that we do everything we can to get top 5. Now is not the time to be having fun and throwing in a 19-year-old. It's not.
No.
It's not a thing that we should be doing.
No, and I think just to say, Ashley, I do agree with you. Personally, I do hope we see him off the bench this season. I'd like to
be him and be on the bench and come on for like a few minutes at the end. Absolutely, definitely.
And
I totally agree with that.
And I think if we start getting a bit of a run together, where we're starting to, then I really do think we will.
If you can get top 5 secured quickly, as in say win 6 out of your next 9 and everyone, then I think he will do it because he's got track records of doing that. I remember the Brentford game a couple of years back when we'd won the title, and it was, remember he played Parma, etc. When we got beat, was it 1-0?
Yeah.
1-0 on the last game, and he did play everyone.
Yeah.
He'll do it, but it's not going to be at the expense of the overall goal.
No.
Do you think Calvin Amrabarek's going to sit there with Pep and go, sorry, mate, your ball's top forward up, but you give Echeverri a go?
But it's not even, this is not even to do with, I mean, you're right with that 100%. But ultimately, this is to every single one of us that ultimately we want to see Florian Wirtz in the summer. We want to see Echeverri competing in the Champions League next season. Everything we want to see next season is hinging on getting this Champions League football. Because if we don't get Champions League football, we ain't seeing no one ball out in the Champions League next season. We can't put all of that on hold because we want to see Echeverri play. We can't. We really can't. So but no. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to quickly say, but I was watching a City stream the other day, and look, everyone's entitled to their view, but I saw this. O'Reilly, McAtee, Echeverri must stay. Must start the next game. Bin off, Nico G, Foden, and I can't remember, Gundo or something. It's like, honestly, you must be bloody mad. You know, I get that these players aren't, Foden's not playing to anywhere near his level, but he is still, in my view, starts over pretty much anyone in that spot right now.
We will save that one for next week because I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. But we've been going for an hour now. People, remember, it's the Boys in Blue. We are sponsored by Bowen Pies, so please make sure you head over there. The QR code is over there. And, of course, just head to their website. Use the code BigSteveMCFC to get your pies.
Smash the likes. Come on, we're not even on 300 likes. Come on.
Get those likes up a little bit higher.
By the way, just before you go, did anyone see the clip on Virgil van Dijk to Isaac?
Which one? What? That?
He turned around and he said, see you in pre-season. He's caused meltdown everywhere.
What? Is that just come out today?
It was on Anfield Agenda earlier. Put it out and he goes up to him and goes, see you in pre-season. Everyone's like, and all the Newcastle fans come back, we didn't know we were buying Van Dijk. I thought that was excellent.
Actually, just on that note, let's just have a bit of saltiness about the show. Why not? I guess winning a Premier League and a League Cup in your first season isn't for every manager.
They got Manuel.
The treble's easy. The treble's piss easy. Come on now. Everyone does it.
Everyone's done it.
There's nothing.
No, but I just think it's funny that no one's mentioning, exactly as Nobbin said, Manuel. Pellegrini came in and made light work of it. I
will say, just on a light note, Kushinov, my word, he went back to Uzbekistan, got gifted a Mercedes, got married.
Yeah.
He was like, hello.
Is that true? Hold on, is that whole engagement thing true?
Apparently so.
Because it was
the Mercedes deal.
I've seen the Mercedes thing, but one thing I've seen on Twitter is there's a lot of people currently making accounts that look like the real person's account, but maybe aren't. But listen, if he has, congratulations to him, and definitely congratulations on the car. Listen, people, we will be back this week. I'm going to try and do a show with Patrick later this week. Hopefully, Steve will be will be available for that as well.
Well, Sammy's
Steve,
is still doing a charity stream right now. It is approaching 22 now.
hold on.
So
Do you know what?
21.6.
Let me just.
So on 21,527, it is
Give me
going
a
up and up and up.
Give me a second.
Wow.
Who's doing it?
Hussam is doing it right now.
Let me. What's his name? This is football, isn't it?
I think so. Don Hussam.
No, his channel's called This Is Football. Oh, not This Is a Football. This is Football. I can't find it. I'm going to try and find it before the stream ends. But anyone need to? In fact, Martin, you got anything coming up on Mancunian Way today?
Yeah, Thursday night. I'm stealing yours out there. We're rebuilding the squad.
Okay.
Also on Friday night, we are having our first official Mancunian Way evening out. So anyone who's in the Manchester area, come and join us. Me, Aussie, Patty's here as well. So anyone wants to come who's in the Manchester area, come and say hello.
Lovely.
Drinks are on you.
I'm not coming. No, I'm not in the Manchester area, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would do. And how's the podcast going as well, guys? You got the
I have no idea. You better speak to Statsman here.
Stato, doing well?
No, not me. It's doing really well. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. I know there's some in the chat just for the support and the feedback and the messages. We've had loads, and yeah, it's done really well. Episode 1 went really, really well. Martin bottled it hosting. He was meant to host till half an hour before and bottled it, so I had to jump in.
Sounds like Martin.
Very ill.
Sounds like Martin. And no, carry on, please carry on. And Nobbins, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, so
break?
Return to content this week. I have already done a video on rebuilding Man City, so if you want to go watch that, you're more than welcome to beat Martin to it.
No, I did mine 3 months ago, but I got caught on a lot of crap. Everyone came after me saying I was hating on everyone, so we thought we'll try again 3 months down the line.
Yeah, but yeah,
so you can't be nice or negative about anyone, Martin. Ultimately, you just
no. I did honestly. We did a show. I think it was November about the rebuild.
Yeah.
We copped a lot of flack. I think we'd gone too soon with it.
Right. Okay.
We'd gone too soon with it, and we copped a lot of flack.
Right, okay. So
now we're doing it when everyone wants everyone out.
So what you got going on, Nobbins? Sorry, this week.
Yeah. So I wasn't able to do any work last week. I've been promising an Echeverry video. It will be. I'm hoping to get that done over this international break, and hopefully the Vitor Hayes one as well.
Right. Okay.
That is the idea. I also want to release a video after that on how City can replace Edison. So
that's a good one.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Content will be resuming. Apologies for the absence, but yes, bear with me. It will be worth the wait, I'm sure.
Lovely. So people, you know where to check him out. It's all three, including Steve's channels, are linked in the title and linked in the description. So please make sure you go and give them all a subscription. As I say, we will be back later this week. Hope everyone has a good evening, and we are out. Peace.